what's happening? Hold on 1 second. Put that up on there. Peace, 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 peace. What's happening with you? Please tap in. I'll get started. Peace. Alrighty. 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 Yeah. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Hey, what's happening? Peace, 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 peace. Appreciate everybody tapping in. We're gonna have ourselves a discussion today. And this topic, it's a sensitive one, so um, before I get started, women, please don't take this as an attack. Understand this is with love. This isn't some hidden toxic masculinity thing. This isn't some patriarchal, oppressive, men dominating, wanting to control women thing. This is a man, a brother, a father, a son, um, a human being speaking honestly. I want us to really just let's be honest. You know what I mean? Uh, Topic is important, so we gonna go get into some things. You gotta put the disclaimer. Gotta put the disclaimer because I don't want people to catch feelings and you know what I mean? Put up the walls, put up the defenses, and just get to attacking people and just get to, you know, dealing with the emotional part of it and not really hearing what each other is saying. Not only what I am saying or what men are saying, but also for men to hear what women are saying. You know what I mean? It has to work both ways. All right, so let me tap in. I seen a bunch of people. Peace, 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 peace. Seal the deal, Marv. Stan Drico, peace. Peace, Big Play, Khalid, Damon, Ashar. Peace, peace, peace. I see you there, Tarif, Danielle. Who else we got? All right, all right, all right, all right. So, where do we begin? Um, it was this video that this comedian named Godfrey I seen posted up, where he was, and this is the real story. The video I found to be really hilarious because Godfrey is, I believe he's Nigerian. I know that he has an accent. I know that he's, I mean, we're all from Africa, but I'm saying he's African in that sense. And he had this accent on that was like really hysterical to me. But he was talking about, he was looking, if you didn't see the video, he's looking at a phone of a woman twerking and he's talking about her like almost like he's on a safari. You know what I mean? And the accent of it. And he's breaking down, that he likes an occasional twerking, but that if women are gonna do that, if they're gonna twerk and show their ass and show themselves on the internet, then they, well, in his words, he said they shouldn't bitch and complain. But they shouldn't be upset if they don't receive the respect that a queen should get. And the way he communicated it may have been a little harsh, but you got to understand it was comedy. But within what he was saying, there's some real truth there. And I wanted to talk about it. Um, One, because it's something that I personally feel strongly about, just as a father, and just as a man, and seeing the way society has kind of been moving. But also because as a Moorish American, as a Moor, it's in the Quran. It's in the teachings that Drew Ali brought to us. So, there's several layers to it. Uh, Before I get to my point of view, I want to ask, I want to ask the people. I want to ask what you guys think. Um, do you feel how a woman portrays herself in the public and on social media should have an effect on how people view the woman? What say you? Let me repeat that. Do you feel the way women portray themselves on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and in the public, do you feel that should have any effect or should affect the way other people view that woman? What do you think? Okay. Adrian, absolutely. People view on the way you're judged on the way you carry yourself. Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay. Absolutely, but let's just be clear. You said view, not respect. True. True. We're gonna come to that. We walking step by step now. Take it easy. Just walk with me. Let's get sometimes that's another thing. We be so intelligent, we so quick on it. We be trying to I know where he going. Just take it easy. Just walk with me. You feel me? Um in a perfect world, absolutely not. However, men are by and large hypocrites. Seraph GL. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Should it have an effect? Ashar shouldn't have an effect because we all come from darkness at one point. Okay. Okay. Some said in a perfect world, absolutely not. It shouldn't have an effect. Some said absolutely. My personal opinion, it does have an effect. Um, and this is not even just women. This is just people in general. I can speak from personal experience where I can go outside with this kind of t-shirt on, right? I can go outside in some jeans, some, dusty tennis shoes, whatever. And people will look at me in a certain light. I could then come inside, switch up my clothes, put on a suit, some nice shoes, some dress shoes, um, put my hair in a certain way, get a shave, and all of a sudden it's like, good afternoon, sir. Wow. Ooh, you look sure. It's a whole different response. I didn't change. Who I am is still the same, but I'm getting a different level of respect. Women looking at me different, men treating me different. Not even black or white, just across the board. Just get some more respect. Hey, what can I do for you today, sir? I come in with a hoodie. What's up? What you need? Oh, oh. What's with all of that? Hmm. So I'm saying from personal experience, I've seen how you look, the appearance, what you project, it can affect how people view you, how people treat you. You may not like it. It may not be the most fair thing, but can we ignore that it is a reality? That's based on stereotypes. It's based on stereotypes. Okay. Are we going to ignore and just pretend that the stereotypes are not active and operating in our society, in our reality? Regardless whether you may or may not agree with the stereotype, can we acknowledge that they are existing and they are in effect in our society? Can we acknowledge that the way we portray ourselves does have a real tangible effect on how people view and subsequently treat us? Can we accept that? I hope so. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. We need women to be examples and start coming out more teaching science. Yeah, true, true. And that's all based on perception, and with most humans, perception is reality. However, if the overarching perception changes, so does the so called reality. Walter, the topic is women, and we are discussing if how a woman portrays themselves matters. Um, does it affect how a woman portrays herself in public social media? Does it affect the way people view her? Subsequently, may or may not treat her. Like the police targeting black men based on how they are dressed or having locks. Got you. Got you. All right. Let's before we move any further, let's address this. Let's do our best to not keep redirecting to men. I understand. It's easy to compare. Oh, well, what if men? But and if men just, I get it. But for this topic, we are going to focus right here on women and how women portray themselves and how women portraying themselves may or may not affect the women. Cool? The fez is right here. Again, this is very relevant. Me wearing the fez and not wearing the fez doesn't change me from being a Moor. Got it? Cool. Let's continue. Women. Let me get to the Quran. I've been saying what I've been saying. Let's get to some information real quick. There's a chapter, the Quran, holy instructions and warnings for all young men. Beware, young men, beware of all the allurements of wantonness, and let not the harlot tempt thee to excess in her delights. Oh man, hold on, man. I see a lot of stuff going. I'm gonna get back to this. Hold on 1 second. Got a lot of comments going on. I'm judging you differently right now because you don't have on your fez. Right, I got you. I feel you. 100% the way she dresses, speaks, and conducted herself will form a perception. It's fair in that it's a part of your character that you have to be mindful of. Matthew Jackson said, Jesus made a woman ambassador with keys to a vast estate. Alrighty. Adrian, women should be able to dress how they want without being judged, but unfortunately, it's not that way. We do not live in utopia. Before I get back to this, because that is often a position that is put forth by women, is that women should be able to dress however they want to dress, and men should respect them regardless. Okay, I hear that perspective. I would ask you, what do you what do you feel is the reason for dressing modestly? And why do you feel that a woman who goes outside in, let's say, a bikini top and some a bikini top and some short shorts, why do you feel as a woman that that woman should be seen in the same light as a woman that chooses to cover her body up and not show it to the world? I'm interested in the mentality in that, because that doesn't make sense to me. I'm not, and to clarify, I'm not saying the woman who doesn't have on very much clothing should be treated disrespectfully. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, why do you feel the woman that has on very little clothes should be seen in the same light, or with the same kind of respect or reverence, or yeah, the same kind of respect or reverence as the woman who chose to dress herself modestly and not reveal herself to everyone? I'm just kind of, I want to understand. So if women are watching, please help me know your perspective on that. Adrian, do you have an opinion on that, or any women? No, really, because I'm really interested. An individual, Quentin. Hey, bro. Now that question right there is one of the best questions ever asked to women that I've ever heard. Uh, I appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Everyone deserves respect, period. Hey, was the question, does everyone deserve respect? No. It's not a question on, does that woman that doesn't have any clothes on, does she deserve respect? It's not what I'm saying. Every human being deserves to be respected. I'm asking, the woman that chooses to come out in the bikini top with the short shorts, the one is on the gram with the yoga pants, with the very tight print in the front. You feel what I'm saying? I'm saying the women that are choosing to show themselves, portray themselves in a sexually suggestive manner, provocative, lustful. I'm saying those women that choose to portray themselves in that light, why do you feel they should be seen with the same respect and in the same and be revered in the same way as a woman who chooses to cover herself modestly in public? I'm not saying she doesn't deserve respect. I'm just asking why you feel she deserves the same respect, reverence. Is it because we're often so clothed that when we see a woman unclothed, it's a big deal? I don't think that it's. I don't think that it's necessarily that a woman is naked or clothed. That's necessarily the deciding factor. I think it's the kind of clothing and the way women portray themselves in those kinds of clothing, to be precise. I'm asking though. I know you didn't say the same, but I'm saying, because when I'm saying that, because this is my position, me personally, as a man, black man, Moorish American, me personally, I appreciate the woman. I am attracted to the woman who carries herself more modestly, who isn't showing her body to every on the gram, to every person on the internet. I I hold that woman with a different level of respect than I do the woman I see constantly like that with it. You feel what I'm saying? Me personally. And when I express that to women saying that this is what I feel and this is what men and some brothers that I know that I find and I view as respectable, this is how they feel. Oftentimes, what I get back from women is, well, that's not right. You need to respect women regardless of what they're wearing. And I'm just asking, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel it doesn't matter how a woman portrays, how you portray yourself, that you should receive the same respect as a queen or an empress who chooses to portray themselves in a particular light? Help me understand. Rami, do you think it's because they may be still searching what their purpose is in society as a standard? Hmm, it's a good question. Me personally, what I feel is, and this is from observation and years of experience and being around women, looking at and talking to women who, portray themselves modestly and some that don't. Uh, and for me, it seems that oftentimes women who are more willing to um, use their physical attributes to get attention, um, more oftentimes than not, it seems like they are lacking self love, or they are lacking a confidence and a respect about themselves that's deeper than their body, and a value, more importantly, a value of themselves that's more than their body. So it seems like they use their body because that's their main asset, or their biggest selling point, their main attraction. So that's what they lead with. Uh, and what's sad about that to me is that women are much more than their bodies. And when you lead with that and you constantly are showing that, especially being so revealing, uh, you know, it um, it cheapens how you're viewed, how you're treated, and that's I don't like that personally. So Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what question started that, but that's kind of my oh that the oh the purpose. Do you think why? Um, like that's what I think is kind of at the source of it. And maybe it's that they saw that's what gets men attention or males attention, so they started doing the same. And they've never had a man or they've never had someone to speak to them and tell them, or share with them that there are men out there that actually find it more attractive when you're modest and when you're not as revealing. And I'm not saying this in terms or as a line to try to get a woman or to try to get you. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Read. Ashar says, because once they find that there's a standard that they need to only project onto us men, but also other young women that will become mothers and someone's empress. Hmm. We all heard what you said, and I promise you I did not get that you indicated that the woman with more exposing clothes deserves less respect than the lady who is covered more. Okay, cool. Glad that's coming across because that oftentimes gets misconstrued. Matter of fact, I posted the video up on um, my Instagram, and a sister in the dialogue, like uh, indirectly accused me of rape, and it's like, whoa, and that's why I led with the disclaimer because I understand that this topic may be triggering or it may be hard to hear or talk about or deal with. And so, I'm mindful and I'm doing my best to be thoughtful in the words that I use um, because I don't want it to come across like I am um, insensitive. You know what I mean? I don't want to come across like I'm not caring about how women feel. But I also, this is really important to me. I also feel like if I can't express this to you, you know what I mean? If I'm me and I'm doing this as compassionately as and as kind as possible, and I'm getting attacked, it's like, well, then who else do our women, do sisters feel like can talk to them and have a critique or criticism? Who else can share it? You know what I mean? Our sisters just above reproach. You can't tell them nothing. Word of Kanye, can't just don't tell me nothing. Is that how we rocking it in the 2019? I don't know, man. You let me know. Um, Matthew Jackson. It is all about battling the lower self. Women and men are concentrating on that physical manifest, not paying attention that it is finite and not who they really are. Mm. I do agree that the fact of the matter is men are going to look. She is exposing it. In other words, she's showing it, so why not look? I mean, women are attractive to men. Let me um let me share an experience with you guys that partly really shaped my view on this. Um, I, before even learning about Moor Science Temple, Drew Ali, when I just was learning about Islam and the way of life, I always looked at the idea of the hijab and the burqas, I think it's burqas, and the, just women being fully clothed like that. I always was like, I don't know. That's a little, makes me a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I didn't, it felt a little controlling. Um, and then later on, I would become educated on the culture and understand that our perception of that, or people's perception of that, especially that don't know about Islam, may not have a full understanding. That being said, I traveled to Egypt in 2013, and one of the things that I noticed immediately, and it struck me the entire time that I was in Egypt, in Cairo specifically, was that the women that were there, they weren't all the way, everyone wasn't fully covered and you could only see their eyes. It wasn't like that at all. But the majority of women were dressed modestly. You know, if they didn't have the full yaminery, you know, their clothes weren't super tight fitting. You didn't see the midriff. I think that, you know what I mean? You didn't see the stomach out. You didn't see the short shorts. You know, that was not around. And what I noticed within like maybe 4 or 5 hours being there is that I found myself looking at women's eyes more than I could ever remember. And just women just all around. I just found myself looking at their face more from here up. And I started, wow, she looks interesting. I wonder where she's from. I wonder what she does for a living. These are just thoughts that I just started to just come to my head, and this is not something that I was consciously doing. It just was the fact that my eyes couldn't go to that yaminery. You feel me? Them yoga pants wasn't left and right and left, and you know what I mean? It wasn't available for me to even see, to even get the thought in my mind to start, maybe let me do you see? And so, and the biggest part about that was it didn't even hit me until I came back to the US. That's the crazy part. I noticed that I was looking at their faces, but it wasn't until I came back, and then I'm talking about as soon as I touched down in the airport, I was like, God damn. You know what I mean? It's like everywhere. It's a it's a it's a it's a it's a yams overload. You feel me? it's a it's a it's, it's a smorgasbord of thickness. It's it is a buffet of but I'm joking, but I'm serious in that I couldn't even help. It was, the women's bodies was just all over the place. That it was just like, man, even if I want. And then I even challenged myself. Like a couple of days after I got settled back, I challenged myself. I went out one day and I said, you know what? Focus. And for the next hour, don't look below a woman's neck. You look at their head and up. Don't look down. I couldn't even help. Like, it's just automatic. Couldn't, before I could even say don't do it, it's already there. And I'm sharing that with you to say that should that happen? No. Should I look at a woman and get some lustful thoughts in my mind? No. Not saying that at all. You should be able to dress how you want. No problem. 100%. We on the same page. We here. We here. But I am saying this is the reality that we are in. And we cannot just put the blinders up and just ignore the reality of the situation. And now let me bring it on back to women. See, because with great power come great responsibility, baby. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Women are amazing, powerful. Yes, the mothers, the queens, the empress. And with that power, baby, yes, indeed, with that power, I'm just a little bit of responsibility. You feel me? We got to have some accountability. You feel me? I'm joking, I'm being humorous, but I'm really being serious. Y'all, it's the burden. It's a lot like, for example, Moms, we go to the grocery store, okay? We go to the grocery store. It's a good 12 bags in the trunk. It's mom, it's me, it's my little sister. You know what I'm saying? They look at me. I already know what it is. I already know. I don't want to grab all them bags and have my fingers all messed up, doing all that. But it's the burden I got to carry. It's just a responsibility with the power. You feel me with that? You feel me with that whoop wow? That little whoop wow comes from responsibility. Go ahead, help the mother out, help grandma out, help auntie out, get them groceries now. I'm joking, but I hope you see the correlation in what I'm saying. With certain power and certain things that we have, whether it be knowledge, um, whether it be physical attributes, with certain power, we have a responsibility, to use that power righteously. And women, I'm saying, sisters especially, I am saying, help a brother out. Help a brother out, man. You see it's hard out here. You see it's hard out here. Come on now. Come on now. Peace, man. I was rambling for a little bit. Peace, Moreno Bay. What's happening? Let me see. Matthew, women do not realize their mind is even more beautiful than their bodies. Oh, we're going to get to that in a second. Oh, man. Oh, man. Boom. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you for bringing me back. Let me get back to the Quran real quick. This is a chapter. This is a warning to all young men. And I didn't want to get too teaching on us, but if you look up the word wantonness, WANTONESS. Somebody look up wanton, WANTON, and just copy and paste a little brief definition in the box for other people so they can see. I'm going to look it up in a quick second just so we can understand what this chapter is saying, because this is a warning for young men. And I want you to listen to it from the perspective of women also, because if this chapter is warning us, young men, against a certain woman, then I would think that you would be able to see it from the other perspective and say, if I want a good man, I don't want to fit that category that the young men are being warned against. Oh, we back? We back. WAN. There it is. Oh, okay. Boom. Thank you. Do we got the definition in there? Boom. Wanton. Adjective, deliberate and unprovoked. 2, especially of a woman, sexually immodest or promiscuous. That's a hard word for me. But that's what this word wanton is. A woman that is sexually immodest, lively, playful, promiscuous, behaves in a sexually immodest or promiscuous way. And then I just seen the origin word that goes to Middle English, wanton, rebellious, lacking discipline. So now let's go back to the text. Beware, young men, beware of all the allurements of wantonness, and let not the harlot tempt thee to excess in her delights. This is the first line. Holy instructions and warnings for all young men. Come on now. The madness of desire shall defeat its own pursuits, From the blindness of its rage, thou shalt rush upon destruction. We're talking about desires being lusted all over. You know what I mean? Therefore, give not thy heart to her sweet enticements. Come on now. Come on now. This is a warning now. Now, this ain't coming from me. Just to clarify now, this is coming from Quran. This was guidance, not from me. Take it up with UV. Let me get back to it. Give not up thy heart to her sweet enticements, neither suffer thy soul to be enslaved by her enchanting delusions. The foundation of health which must supply the stream of pleasure shall quickly be dried up, and every spring of joy shall be exhausted. In the prime of thy life, old age shall overtake thee. The sun shall decline in the morning of thy days. But when virtue and modesty enlighten her charms, the luster of a beautiful woman is brighter than the stars of heaven. Come on now. I need to hear from some women on that one. Come on now. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. What we got to argue against that? Talk to me now. Come on now. Where we at? Family? Sisters? Does that sound bad? Does that sound something that's controlling? Something negative? Because to me, this is saying when a woman is virtuous and modest, then that makes her more beautiful than, just the physical attributes. That's what it seems to be saying to me. And then it goes on to say, and the influence of her power, it is a vain to resist. So when you're modest and when you have virtue, now your influence as a woman, you can't even be resisted. Ain't that something? So the more modest you are, the more powerful you become. Come on now. The whiteness of her bosom transcendeth the lily. Her smile is more delicious than a garden of roses. The innocence of her eyes is like that of a turtle. Simplicity and truth dwell in her heart. The kisses of her mouth are sweeter than honey. The perfumes of Arabia breathe from her lips. Goodness gracious, man. It's another one in here that I wanted to read. It was another one that I wanted to read in here, because it's some deep stuff in here. Here's some deep stuff in here. All right, here we go. Duty of a husband. Take unto thyself a wife and obey the ordinance of Allah. Take unto thyself a wife and become a faithful member of society. But examine with care and fix not suddenly. On thy present choice depends thy future happiness. If much of her time is destroyed in dress and adornment, if she is enamored with her own beauty and delighted with her own praise, oh my God, I feel like this is talking to us right now. Can I run that back? If much of her time is destroyed in dress and adornment, if she is enamored with her own beauty and delighted with her own praise. Does that sound like the women that really just like getting them likes and them retweets, them comments, them emojis? Like seeing themselves? I look good. Oh, I'm the baddest. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Come on now. Talk to me. We're going to get to that, Matthew. We're going to get to that. Let me keep reading. If she laugh much and talketh loud, if her foot abideth not in her father's house, and her eyes with boldness rove on the faces of men, though her beauty were as the sun in the firmament of heaven, though she is as beautiful as, oh my goodness, understand this. Though she got that beauty, though she is amazing, she is a bad one. Turn thy face from her charms. Turn away. Turn thy feet from her paths. Turn away. And suffer not thy soul to be ensnared by the allurements of imagination. This book right here is warning us against women that dress provocatively, that be all out there like that. This is what the book is warning us against, and it's in the chapter called Duty of a Husband. And then right before that, warnings for young men. So let me pause for a second and ask women. As a man, when I read this, what do you think I should do? Ignore this? Especially our Moorish women, our Moorish sisters out there. Should I ignore what this Quran is saying? What Noble Drew Ali is teaching? Should I ignore this information and just say, hey, man, well, if you want to dress the way you want to dress, I mean, that's cool and that's fine. And I should just accept that and take you on as wife, even though it's clearly saying, suffer not thy soul to be ensnared by the allurements of imagination. I'm supposed to ignore the warning? Is that fair? Come on, sisters, talk to me now. Let's see what we talking about. That's Shar's, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, you posting it in there. They say that we do not understand them as women because we do not take the time out to listen to them and talk to them. I'll be doing my best to. Do my best to. Any thoughts? Any thoughts, anyone? Oh, let me finish this last part. Because I don't want it to just be the gloomy part. Because it has the other side to it. But when thou finds a sensibility of heart, joined with a softness of manners, and an accomplished mind, with a form agreeable to thy fancy, take her home to thy house. She is worthy to be thy friend, thy companion in life, and thy wife of thy bosom. So that line was really powerful because, one, it not only gives men and women an understanding, a guideline of qualities to look out for that you may not want in a wife, but it also gives you the breakdown of what you need to find in a woman that you should make a wife. And the more profound thing about it is listen to how the qualities are broken down. Listen to the steps. 1, sensibility of heart. First, the heart. Love. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Then 2, softness of manners. Then 3, accomplished mind. Then the body. Then the form. It didn't start off with the physical and then work to what you know and all of that. It started first with the heart and the mind and how you portray yourself. The physical is last. Come on, man. Tell me y'all recognize the power in that. Am I tripping? Or maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm misreading this. Maybe I'm have a bad understanding. Help me understand. Charms, yeah. Alrighty. Let me see. Did anybody have anything else to say? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yes, yes. Amber Rose would not be treated the same as Michelle Obama. I get it. But that doesn't mean Amber should be treated badly. And yes, I know that's not what you're saying. All good. All good. I agree. I'm not saying that Amber Rose should be treated badly. But the thing that I have come to understand is that how you portray yourself, it matters. And even though you may want someone to treat you with the utmost respect, regardless of how you are portraying yourself, that may not always happen. And the important thing about that is the principle, and to not just get locked into it applying to women and how they dress, but you can apply the same principle to us as a people and bringing it back to us portraying ourselves as slaves or as Negroes or as black people or as African Americans or colored. When we portray ourselves with very little respect, then in turn, others view us and sometimes, oftentimes, do not treat us with the same kind of respect that they would a people that identify by their nationality, that are proud of their culture, that identify by their true names and not by the names that was given to them by their slaveholders. Do we see the correlation? Do we have to understand? Not saying that it's right for other people to not treat us with the same level of respect, but I'm saying this is the reality, and that it is difficult for them to see us in our true light because we are not standing properly. I wish it was, yeah, but they should know we Moors, and they should just treat us. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, baby. How about we change ourselves and stop putting it on other people? How about we take some self-accountability for ourselves and our actions? Does that seem fair? Or is that unfair? Is that too much to ask of ourselves? If so, let me know. Let's at least be honest. No, I don't wanna portray myself with a certain level of respect. I wanna do whatever I feel and dress however I feel and carry myself however I feel. If that's how you want to stand on it, stand on it. But let's not have it both ways. Let's not try to act like, yeah, I want to do whatever I want to do, and I feel everyone else should be obligated to treat me how I feel they need to treat me. That's a bit unfair, family. I'm just saying, it's not realistic. It's not fair. You know what I mean? And if we are really honest with ourselves, we know it's not finna happen. We know it. Sisters, you know when you put on those certain pants and you do that check in the mirror, you know what I mean? You get your stretches in. I know. I done been around women. I done seen it. Come on now. You know what you're doing. You know what you're checking for. How does my ass look in them jeans? Ooh, they gonna be looking. Come on, family. Why? Why do you want them looking? Let's get to the real core of the matter. See, it's kind of hard sometimes to really admit that. You know what I mean? I'm not, and listen, when I went to college, true story, okay? True story. When I went to college, the first I'm living on campus. This was the first time I was ever in a weight regimen program for football. I'm out here looking, you know what I mean, swolled up. I would purposely, I'm telling you, I would purposely say, "Oh man, we got to run to the cafeteria. I couldn't find a shirt. I just go in this tank top." I could have spent a couple seconds probably looking for a shirt, but deep down, you know what it was? Come on now, I wanted that. Oh hey, Cliff, hey, hey, I see you there. I want a little bit of that. I want a little bit of attention. I want that Michael B. Jordan effect. You know what I mean? How ladies, dad, I wanted that. Yeah, man. Come on now. That's the ego, though. That's the lower self, though. If we being honest, though. It's kind of tough to be honest. It's kind of tough, man. You know what I mean? So we got to be honest. We gotta be honest with ourselves. You know what I mean? And really uplift ourselves and be open to listen. You know what I mean? And just let me clarify again. This is not all on women. This is not all women's fault, and it's just blame women. And men have no space or places or areas where they need to grow. That's not what this is. It's very clear that men need to hold men accountable. Men need to start holding men to treat women with more respect, regardless of how women are dressed or what they do, stripper, street worker, whatever. This is a fact. Not running away from that responsibility. All I'm saying is, sisters, can we have some responsibility on y'all side also? Can we do this together? Not, well, y'all need to get it together first before we fix anything. That ain't, I don't feel like that's kind of fair. You know what I mean? I think that's about it. Let's see. Peace, 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 Anya. Peace. Rami, we need more women with that science to get on here and give us a measure. You have any suggestions on who would step forward to demonstrate? That's a great question. I personally, and women know who they are. I have friends, and women and sisters that have hit me up in the movement. They know about more science, study the Quran, but are nervous about teaching or speaking on it. And I constantly say we need women to speak on this. And the truth is, let me say this. Thank you for that question. I may have said it earlier, I don't remember. But the analogy I see with this issue is the same problems that we run into when European brothers and sisters may have a critique or a criticism to help uplift Moorish people or so-called black people. And I've seen it that it's very difficult. It's a challenge for some Moorish people, some so-called black people, to accept the criticism from a European person. Even if it's 1,000% valid, it's difficult to accept because of the past history between European people and Moorish people, or European people and so-called black people. Likewise, I recognize that it's difficult for Moorish sisters to hear from a Moorish man or a black man some critiques about what they maybe should or should not be doing, especially when it comes to their body, because of the past history and the abuse and rape and harassment and trauma and everything that's gone on between Moorish men and Moorish women. I'm not ignorant of that. And that's precisely why when Moorish women begin to speak up on this, it will be even more effective, because regardless of how cautious, how uh, gentle I try to approach this topic with, there's going to be some women that are just defensive because of the past experience, and it just will not connect the same way that it will when a woman speaks on this. It's just a reality that I have. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish a woman would listen to me, um, but I acknowledge and I see that it's more effective when it comes from a woman. It's just in my personal opinion. So I agree. We need more women, and I'm pleading, humbly, please, women, if you're out there watching this and you know about Moor science, speak up on this topic. Speak up on all of the um, feminine principles or the feminine perspectives that are mentioned in the Quran Surah 7, because it's a lot of it, and we need it. Uh, hmm. To be human is to find balance in the higher and lower self. Hmm. Teamwork. Yeah. Let's see. Women tap into emotion the way we talk. No hatred allowed. True. Yeah. Um, you know, women do tap into emotion. And I also know that, I know specifically for me, that sometimes if I'm not extremely careful, the way I say something may strike a nerve or it may come across too harsh. Um, Matter of fact, man, we are getting into it today. And this is when I read this part in the book, it really, before I even read the line, it really hit me in my chest, man, to keep it 1,000. And it really humbled me to show me how much of a mistake I was making in the way I was speaking, to within my wife at the time. And the line is, consider the tenderness, and this is in duty of a husband. Consider the tenderness of her sex, the delicacy of her frame, and be not severe to her weakness, but remember thy own imperfections. And so, with that line, I just hope that that's a reminder to men, whether you're dealing with your wife or your girlfriend or just a woman in general, and you are sharing a critique or sharing a perspective that may disagree with the woman, or some sort of correction or anything like that, to just be very mindful that it is a woman, and to be delicate, and and to remember your own flaws and mistakes as you go to try to make a suggestion. Um, let's see. Yeah, people are sensitive to the truth. This is true. All right, let me answer. Um, Let me answer this guru person, because I seen you just ask me. You asked me the whole Moorish thing before, and I answered. You said explain the Moorish part of Moorish. British, Polish, Irish. Next. What is the Moorish religion? Um, the technical term is Islamism. That's in the Quran questions for Moorish Americans, also known as the 101 Quran questions, or the 101 questions for Moorish Americans. Islamism, Islam, ISM on the end. That's the technical term. Um, You can also look up in Moor's literature. There's an excerpt or a small essay from Noble Drew Ali called "What is Islam?" where he breaks down in very plain language, what Islam is, and people who live the life of Islam, what that requires of you. Uh, mm. Listen, man. Listen, that Luke 6:42 is also, I think, is Matthew 7:3. Um, that verse right there was literally one of the first verses I think I ever read in the Bible that hit me in my chest, and I was like, this is some truth right here. Far too many times people are looking for all the errors in the next person and not looking at the big error in themselves, or within themselves. And so that's something also to just keep in mind with this topic and in general. Um, I spoke a little bit about it in another video about how sometimes Moors, we can get too caught up in trying to tell other people and other organizations what they're doing wrong. And we have yet to deal with some big issues within our own organization. And that is hypocritical, and it doesn't really help us do what we're supposed to do, which is uplift fallen humanity. Who gave Moors the science of Kemet? You mentioned Moors brought it into Spain or Europe. Who gave Moors the science of Kemet? During the Persian, Greek, and Roman invasions, large numbers of Egyptians fled not only to the desert and mountain regions, but also to the adjacent lands in Africa, Arabia, and Asia Minor, where they lived and secretly developed the teachings which belonged to their mystery system. In the 8th century AD, which would be the 700s, the Moors, i.e., natives of Mauritania in North Africa, invaded Spain and took with them the Egyptian culture which they had preserved. Book is Stolen Legacy. The author's name is George G.M. James. Hope that answered your question. Before I answer any more of these kind of questions, I will humbly ask that you go study for yourself, because the kinds of questions that you're asking me often come from people that seem to doubt that this Moorish thing is real, or have some angle to try to disprove Noble Drew Ali and disprove that so-called black people are not Moors, or that disprove that so-called black people are Moors. So I would just humbly say to go study the information that Noble Drew Ali brought first, and then come back and ask these questions, because I don't want you to believe me. See, I just pulled that book off the shelf. I could have told you that, but I said, let me try to find it. Boom. But even in me reading that to you, you won't know until you look it up for yourself and you look in history and you see what happened. So I would say look into the information yourself before asking questions that can be answered with just some basic research and study. All the same people. Yes. That was page 39 in this book. Just so you answer. And that's another thing we gotta understand, that we really are one gigantic big human family. It's like, even the idea of, oh well, those are the Moors, but I'm a Kemetan, as if there's some line that says, nope, you don't have any of this in you, and you are not related at all. And we have scientifically and factually proven this, and we have the evidence. Like, you can't show that because it's not real. Ultimately, it's one big family. We spread out all over the globe. Over time, the different climates and regions of the world changed how we look. We adapted our body to survive. We adapted, we changed, morphed different cultures, customs, languages, etc., according to where we was at. But the core of all of it is still the same. The core of the religions, the core of the gods, whether you call it Allah, Jah, Yahweh, the Most High, um, the all, the supreme being. It's all the rootless root, the causes cause, the rootless root, from which all things spring forth. Um, Alrighty, I think, I think that may be it. Um, hmm. One last question. If there's any more sisters closing, I was gonna close it out, but I wanted to ask this last question. As a man, yeah, as a man, this is something I was interested in knowing from women's point of view specifically. Do you feel it's wrong for me as a man to have a higher level of respect um, for a woman that chooses to dress modestly than for someone that shows, all of her body and herself to the public and on all social media? Do you feel it's wrong for me to have a higher level or a different kind of respect or reverence to that woman that's modest? Um, because I'm not sure. Maybe it is wrong. I don't know. I don't, because the other thing is I was thinking, like, if the shoe was on the other foot, if men if men were out here doing um, similar things to women, and, like, you know if I came on here right now and I didn't have a shirt on and I'm oiled up, you know what I mean, and I got the gray sweats, it's super tight, and then you can see, you know what I mean, would should I expect women to respect me the same way they would someone that holds themselves with more respect, that isn't showing their body off in every class, and in every time I'm teaching, I open up and I'm oiling myself up. You know what I mean? Saying Islam, everybody. Should should I receive the same respect? Should women respect me in the same light as they do the man that comes respectful and not showing, and comes clothed and not showing their body? Just wondering. All right. Eric Snow, keep it thorough. Women don't care. Okay, got it. Azure. I'm not sure if it's Azure or Azure. It's just attention seeking. To condemn a woman's body is to condemn her. Okay, so on that note, how is that condemning? Because I guess that's what I'm confused on. Um, if I see a woman that is showing her body off to everyone, it's not, if I'm not saying she's a bad person, but I'm saying that I like or I appreciate the woman that's dressed modestly more, how is that condemning the woman that's dressing provocatively or condemning her body? That's what I'm kind of interested in. No, no, not as a bad thing. Not as a bad thing. I'm saying I'm saying that women that dress in a bikini, I see them with this level of respect. I see women dressed modestly in a different light, with a different kind of respect. If I'm saying I appreciate the woman who dresses modestly more, how is that me saying that the woman that doesn't dress modestly is less? How am I condemning her? The woman is dressing provocatively. No, I'm not suggesting it's provocatively. It right. Innately, a woman's body isn't sexual, correct? But we're not talking about innately. We talking about short shorts. We talking about yoga pants that grip. Yeah, I mean, we talking about um, IG posts where women are in the mirror with the camera with the focus directly. We're talking about that kind of portrayal. We're not just talking about a woman in Africa in nature just walking with her children, just naked without clothing. That's a bit different. So let's not try to conflate the two or make it seem like those are the same, because those are way different. You're not its preference. Got you. Okay, so it's just preference. Got it. Um. Okay. I You said that's still you in your brain sexualizing it no matter what. Sexuality isn't innately bad either. Okay. No, I got you. Um, Last thing on that note. So, do you feel that women never intentionally dress provocative or sexually? Because it seems like you're trying to say that women that don't wear are not modest with their clothing, that isn't them being. It's like it's not possible for them to be dressing provocatively or sexual. So I'm just trying to make sure. Oh, okay, they do. Gotcha. You got to remember that there's a reason why we're called Morenos. I mean, even in cartoons, Daffy Duck would say what a maroon is. It's all there. You just have to look for the truth. Gotcha. Alrighty. Um. Alrighty. So that's based on societal standards for beauty as well. An ankle can be sexual. A face. Okay. But let's. That's true. It could be. Let's try to work. Let's not try, but let's work in the society we are in. Like in this society, the U.S. You know what I mean? I get generally, I get generally, but specifically the issue I see or I'm speaking towards is our women here. Um, but I don't know. At this point, I feel like I'm kind of rambling, so I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. Wanted to see, did anyone else have any? I got you. Did anyone else have any questions? Um, yeah. Any other questions about um, Moorish women? Women. I'm trying to make sure that I covered all. I know when I end this, I'm gonna be like, "Ah, man, I forgot to say such and such and such and such." Um, yeah, yeah. I don't have anything else. Y'all got anything else? Any other questions in general? Before I get out of here, I'll try to read one more, y'all meanery. Mm, 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 mm. I'm glad I seen that. So I got one thing I'm gonna close out with. Let's see. I don't wear a headdress or dress overly modest, and I demand respect. It's all about the attention we've been deprived of and the natural battle to stay relevant. Word. Um, and honestly, that may work for you, sister. You may be able to dress however you wish and command and get the respect that you feel you deserve. Um, I would say also not to discard or discredit. From my perspective, I believe and I feel that humbly the kind of respect, the kind of energy, the kind of attention, the kind of love, um, the kind of treatment you would get if you began to dress modestly. I personally believe that it would far surpass, or it would be far more fulfilling and uplifting than the attention you received saying, let's say, and you dressed, you know, with very little clothing. This is my personal opinion. This is not even on a sexual level, but just from men and how they look at you, speak to you, treat you on a very basic level. Um, but this is just my opinion, my perspective as a man. You know what I mean? If you and this is honestly the funny part, and I love our sisters, I love our women, but sometimes it's difficult for y'all to hear us because this is a man saying this is how, you know, at least I'm saying righteous men, brothers that are working to uplift themselves. This is how my friends and the brothers that I know, we appreciate women, that hold themselves to a certain. Matter of fact, I asked my brothers because we was having this conversation in the group chat. I said, out of all four of y'all, I said, out of all the four of y'all wives, how many of their posts on any of their social media pages has them twerking or with their ass out? Guess what the answer was? Don't worry, I'll wait. Come on with it. Zero. Yep. Nothing. And married. Now, maybe marriage, I'm not saying marriage is the end all be all, or the object of the goal. What I'm saying is that men place value long term, they see themselves long terms with women that portray themselves in a certain way, from my experience. But that's all. Take it or leave it. What do I know? You know what I mean? I ain't Michael B. Jordan. I ain't Idris Elba. You know what I mean? Who am I? I'm just rhyming. Uh, but I did want to read this because I feel like this is the perfect. Um, I feel like this is the perfect thing to kind of close out with. Let's see. Um, word, word, word. I feel that. I feel that. Um, on that saying men are naturally possessive, let me read this, and then we gonna close this on out. Give ear, fair daughter of love, to the instructions of prudence, and let the precepts of truth sink deep in thy heart. So shall the charms of thy mind add luster to the elegance of thy form. And thy beauty, like the rose it resembleth, shall retain its sweetness when its bloom is withered. In the spring of thy youth, in the morning of thy days, when the eyes of men gaze on thee with delight, and nature whisper in thy ear the meaning of their looks. Hear with caution their seducing words. Man, listen, when a woman is looking beautiful enough, there's some men that will say anything to get it. It's a warning, for real, for real. Let me get back to it. Hear with caution their seducing words. Guard well thy heart, nor listen to their soft persuasions. Remember, you are made man's reasonable companion, not the slave of his passion. The end of thy being, this is talking to women, the end of thy being is not merely to gratify his loose desire, but to assist him in the toils of life, to soothe his heart with thy tenderness, and recompense his care with soft endearments. So I wanted to read that because I wanted to make sure that we are clear that women are not here for men to possess, for men to control, and for men to just use for their pleasure. That's not what women are here for. That's not a woman's purpose or place, and that's clear. And I'm reading again from the Quran. Not my words. This is what Drew Ali brought to us for us to study. And that chapter that I was reading from is marriage instructions for man and wife from the noble prophet. Just so you understand. I hope some of what I said got through or made some sense, or at least maybe caused you to reconsider some things. You know what I mean? Ultimately, my hope is that, maybe once a week, women begin to dress a little bit more modestly. Maybe Fridays is the day, the day they decide, you know what, I would like to cover myself up a little bit and, just rock it like this for today. Maybe, you know what I mean? Hopefully I can inspire some sort of thought to perhaps, possibly changing or adjusting just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. Thank you very much for listening. I really hope that you read this information for yourself. If you run this back, don't believe what I'm saying. Look it up for yourself. Again, I'm not saying any person, man or woman, should be disrespected. Everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves love. I am saying that I hope our sisters can hear and really receive this, that when you portray yourself more modestly, it uh, it helps us all, man. Really, really and truly, it helps us all. So thank you very much. Um, Everybody that was tapped in. Let me see. Let me run back to this 1 second before I get up out of here. Thank you. Misogyny is another. Monogamy, not misogyny. Monogamy is another topic. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Peace, March America 720. Modesty is only necessary because of men's eyes and thoughts. Okay, I hear that perspective. Now it makes sense. Word, peace, cover your loveliness, as I was told. Oh man. There's if you read the book by Muhammad Ali, the autobiography, I think it's called The Soul of a Butterfly. He has this beautiful piece in there that talks about the way he taught his daughters about covering up, and it's a beautiful poem. Check out the book and read it if you can. Let me see. One video can go viral with a strong black woman saying she's going to dress more modestly because these niggas don't deserve to see all this. Yeah, I hear that perspective. Discipline and modesty. Word. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you very much, y'all. I really appreciate it. Yeah. I think that's about it. I'm trying to get everybody Afron Bay. Yeah, I think oh man, I'm just finna get out of here, and I got one last question. Does the word Moor mean black, and are Moors and the NOI pretty much the same thing as far as ideologies? No, the word Moor does not mean black, but the people that are identified and called black or call themselves black are actually Moors. So, or African Americans, Negroes, people of color, to clarify. Moor is a dark-skinned person. And are Moors and NOI pretty much the same thing? Moor is an identity. The Nation of Islam is an organization. They're Nation of Islam members, but that's still not the equivalent as or the same as saying Moor, because Nation of Islam members usually that I've seen are Moors, or Moors who are Nation of Islam members. And as far as ideology goes, the Nation of Islam itself was birthed out of the Moor Science Temple of America in 1930, 1 year after Noble Drew Ali passed in 1929. So I hope that answers the questions. Damon Jones, peace. Man at work asked me why I always cover myself. Respect. True indeed. Thank you. Man, if you have any more questions, last thing, if you have any more questions or the next topic you want for us to build on, email me at iamhhtemple@gmail.com. Again, iamhhtemple@gmail.com. That's it. Peace and love.